What's up, everybody? Pete with Auto Repair Tips. I got a 14 Chevy Sonic with a 1.8. I believe this thing's pumping out about 400 horsepower. It's got the Ecotec engine in it. I wouldn't own one of these pieces of crap. But anyway, that's beside the point. Customer's been riding along, check engine light came on, loss of power, things like that. Let me show you what code she's got in this car and what you can do to fix it. So after I pulled the code, it had a P0171 in it. And if you look over here to the right, one thing I like about the snap-on scanner is, and I imagine a lot of them do the same thing, but this one's kind of set up really nice actually. It tells you at the top things that could be wrong with the car. And the first thing it says is 2,607 repairs. They replaced the engine intake air ducts. 2,096 repairs had to replace a valve cover gasket. Down here it says replace oxygen sensor, replace the mass airflow sensor. I mean, these are all things that the top repairs that fix this, and the evap system. So what I did to save some time is I got the smoke machine out, and when I smoked it, I was able to check the intake, air intake, and the evap system. Got rid of them all together. I checked the valve cover, same way, no issues there. So the next thing I did is I went on to the mass airflow sensor. And let me show you what I did there. What I did was I went over to guided component tests. I went ahead and picked out the mass airflow sensor. I went to signature test right here. It tells you how to hook it up. Yellow goes to the mass airflow signal, black to no-go ground. And this is the waveform, what it should look like. So let me get it hooked up real quick and we'll run this test. When you're hooking this up, the signal wire is gonna be a light green and a white one, I believe it is. I got a black to a good ground. Let's start it up and let's look at the signal. Go ahead and hit view meter. And you should have a nice square waveform, just like that. So by looking at that, you can see we have a nice waveform. We'll record it for a few minutes, make sure there's no glitches, dip outs, or anything like that. And once I confirm that that signal looks good, we'll move on to the next one. Go back. So when doing this test here, the out of range test, the yellow goes to the mass airflow signal, black to a good ground, and with the key on, there should be 5 volts. All right, we're looking for a brown and violet wire. That's this one right here. Now when I'm done doing these tests, I will take a little bit of liquid tape and dab on there, and that is perfectly acceptable. So I don't want to hear all in the comments about how you're piercing holes in wires. It won't be like that when I'm done. All right, so let's get this on here and tighten this up. So if you're looking at it, we are sitting just at 2 volts. Actually less than that. Let's take a look. We're sitting at 1.9, 1.8. There should be 5 volts there. So that's telling me there's a short in that wire. The first thing you want to do, you don't want to go crazy. You don't want to get all, let's start probing the computer and let's start looking for burnt wire somewhere. Unplug that sensor. Let me show you what happens when I unplug the sensor. You see it immediately pops up to 5 volts. We are sitting at 5.02. Your short is just the mass airflow sensor. So let me go ahead and call that customer, see if they want to fix it. I'll get it on there. All right, so while I'm waiting for the customer to call me back, I want to talk to you guys for a minute about my niece. For those of you who've been following the channel know that she passed away a few years back. She died of cancer. She was 29, I believe it was, when she passed away. And in memory of her, my brother started a foundation, and 100% of the proceeds goes towards paying people's bills, whether it's a VEPCO bill, a gas bill, a house mortgage, a car loan, whatever they have. And why he started this is, believe it or not, I guess the type of cancer she had, when they were looking for money, there was actually no funding for adults like of her age and older. It was really hard to get any kind of funding and people helping them out. So he got hooked up with Duke, and what he does is they contact him when a person needs to have a mortgage paid or anything like that, and he pays that bill. So I'm going to put a link in the description below where you can make a donation if you'd like. And just remember, 100% of the money goes towards paying someone's bill or helping someone out with cancer. All right, that being said, let's get back to the video. All right, she approved the repairs, so we're going to take this one off while I wait for the new one. It's a T20 that holds it on. And that's what the sensor looks like. You'd be surprised the amount of stuff this thing does. I think I'd rather have me a 4-barrel carburetor. All right, the new mass airflow sensor part number is the MF 21354AN, made by Blue Streak. This is the generic of the generic. Probably should have bought a new one. I can already see it. I can already feel it. All right, let's get this thing installed. My daughter, she just left to go back to Georgia And I was telling you on the last video that she's pregnant, and they live a van life. So they bought a bus and converted it because his job, that's what it calls for. And I don't know how many of you guys have kids out there, but I cannot imagine being in a bus with 2 dogs, a husband, a wife, a newborn, and trying to survive in like about maybe 200, 150 square foot living area. More power to them. I know I couldn't do it. That's all I can say. All right, so taking off here on the test drive, it looks like my seatbelt's not on and the tire pressure monitor lights. I'm gonna take it up on the highway and try and get about 40 miles an hour. That's a lot better. I can already feel a difference. I know one thing, it sounds like the freaking suspension is gonna come through the floor. I don't know if I'd be wanting to drive this thing 55 miles an hour. Ain't sure if y'all can hear that, but good grief. Nice. No check engine light so far. It was popping on, like I couldn't even give it the gas before, and it would come on like that. Got great RPMs. Earlier when I did that, the check engine light just snapped on. All right, let's turn this monster around. Let's go back to the shop. So back from the test drive, everything passed, everything looks good, no more issues. That's it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.